Hold up. So you go from thugging out on a woman to
What more do you want from me?
hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. And this is my review on Love and Marriage Detroit Season 1, Episode 3, Don't Rock the Boat. So we start off where we left off with Anthony queening out on Christina's friend and Christina. And then now another man by the name of Bravo, which is Anthony and Man Bun's friend, he decides to put his input into the situation and decides to also gang up on Christina. So now we have Anthony and we have Bravo talking to Christina like she's some child, and Brandon is just watching all of this go down, okay? And so at this point, Christina starts crying because, and again, this is like the second time we've seen her cry and we're only on episode 3. So she's crying because she's like, I am not stopping this man from pursuing his career. And she begins to argue with Brandon at the event because Brandon, of course, feels like now he has some manpower because 2 men were ganging up on his wife. So now he feels like he has the balls, the kahunas, to actually say something to her. So at this point, all of this drama is happening at this event, LaToya's event. She looks so embarrassed, and she should be, because her man-child, Anthony, is the one who started all of this nonsense. So when he sees things get heated between Brandon and Christina, now all of a sudden he wants to pull Brandon away and say, we got y'all back. There's a better way to handle this. Fool, you're messy. You're just messy. And Brandon is messier because he's talking to Anthony, being very loud while talking to Anthony so Christina can hear everything that he has to say. And so Christina, she's going back and forth with him, but she finally shuts it down and kind of says, look, I can get any man out here. And so, of course, wandering eyes, Brandon is like, is what? Is that a challenge? Is that a challenge? Like, do you know how many females I'm around in my field? And I'm like, of course you would find any reason to keep it pushing, huh, Brandon? So they're walking home. And literally, he's like, do you want to be married to me? Because you're the one who made this comment about how I can get any man out here. And look, Christina is beautiful. I would have never known she had 2 kids and she is 40 years old. So is her statement accurate? I would say, yeah, she can pull some men out there. And so the question is, Brandon, do you want to be married to her? You asking her if she wants to be married to you, do you want to be married to her? Because you're the one who was out there saying that you couldn't stand your wife. So Christina is saying, look, I want to be with you, but I want you to also be a good husband and father. And in his confessionals, Brandon says, to be a good father, you have to provide for your family. And yes, we know this, provider, protector, but why is it that some men don't realize that even though you have to be a provider and a protector, that also means spending time, quality time with your children? Like, why does, I don't get it, but moving on. So LaToya confronts her man-child about the energy he brought to her event. And of course, he tries to cover it up and make it seem like he's trying to help Brandon and Christina, and how Brandon needs to support Christina more as far as her career, because of course he has supported LaToya. And LaToya is like, look, man-child, It was none of our business. This is the second event, second situation where things have blown up and you're in the middle of it. Like, let's just stay out of their business. And I agree. You have your own things to worry about. Okay? So Kobe actually invites her parents over and they come, and Kobe looks just like her mother. Both of them are absolutely beautiful. But when I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is what Kobe's going to look like when she gets older. She looks just like her mom. So Kobe talks to her parents about Russell going to divinity school and how he started divinity school like 3 to 4 weeks ago. And she said she feels like he should have spoke to her about it before he made that decision. And of course, her father is a pastor. Her mother is a first lady. So their thing is, well, you know, child, if God called them, honey, he got to be obedient to God's word. And look, I grew up in a church. I totally get it. However, it is a big adjustment. And I understand what she's saying. Like, talk to me about this first. Let's create a plan. Let's talk about this. But at the same time, her father is like, well, if he would have told you first, would you have said no? And she was like, yeah. And so he kind of laughed and he was like, that's the reason why he didn't tell you. But here's my thing. If it was the other way around and Kobe decided she wanted to do something, whether it was ministry, or maybe she wanted to do, I don't know, cosmetology school or just something where she didn't tell her husband about it first. And she said God called her to do it. Would he have the same reaction? Or would he actually be like, look, if God calls you to do it, then go ahead and do it? You know, I wonder because again, he wanted to pull the Bible out on her and the whole man thing. So I wonder if she did the same thing to Russell, what would his reaction be? But with that, Kobe is still annoyed and her parents give her, you know, I guess good advice saying that if you're more considerate of Russell, he will probably be more considerate of you. So that was the end of that conversation. And by the way, their little daughter, Kendall, is so cute. She is absolutely gorgeous. But anywho, so Anthony and Man Bun talk and they pretty much talk about the marital, can't even speak, damn it, the marriage issues that they actually have. And Anthony is like, look, man, I haven't heard from you since the event. And Man Bun is like, look, I haven't been home since the event. After that wine night, I didn't go home and I haven't spoke to her. So as far as I know, we may be separated. So man-child Anthony says, you know, okay, well, you guys really need to get back together, even though he kept stirring the pot. You guys need to get back together. You don't want your kids to be without a father or X, Y, and Z. And, you know, Brandon's like, you're right. Okay, I'll talk to her. Child, I guess. So Christina meets with her friend that was cussed out by man-child Anthony. And Christina talks about the event and how she didn't appreciate that Brandon allowed his friends to pretty much gang up on her. But she said that she's a fighter. She grew up in a 2-parent household and that, you know, she's a fighter for a 2-parent household. And that's what she grew up in and that's what she wants for her kids. However, if he doesn't want to fight, she can't fight for him. She's not going to sit up there and try to hold on to something if he's not willing to fight for it. And I agree. And have you guys noticed that almost all of these women are like PK kids? Kobe has a pastor father. We find out later on LaToya has a pastor father. Christina says she grew up as a PK kid or a PK. I'm just like, does everybody have literally like fathers who are pastors? Like, is that like the Detroit way? I mean, I know we saw Grown in Gospel, but I'm just like, no one else does anything besides like actually being pastors. I mean, I know there's a big auto industry there. No one works in that field. So y'all people from the D, let me know. So anywho, with that, I really wish Christina the best of luck. First of all, I love her style. Her confessional, she had this gorgeous black and gold outfit on, her hair, her makeup. To me, it was just like everything. So she definitely does have style. So LaToya and Anthony are on a date, and Anthony talks about how he has to go back to Atlanta, and of course he makes it seem like LaToya doesn't want him to go back, but she's like, look, stop saying that. Atlanta is not an issue. It's about the communication and planning with your family before you make that move or you make that trip. So he feels like LaToya is stopping him from his dreams. So now I get it. He lashes out at Christina because he feels like he's trapped in his own marriage. So he lashes out at Christina because he can't really go off on LaToya. That's what that's all about. So he feels like he's being held back, just like Brandon feels like he's also being held back. Child, whatever. So Colby and Russell meet, and they finally get to some type of understanding about divinity school, but that last little look on Colby's face, she's still not pleased with the situation. So then we get to the finale, and LaToya and Anthony are still talking about this Atlanta situation again. This time, though, it's with their friends, okay? And it just seems like they're definitely on different pages. It doesn't seem like they're really going to agree with how he did things and his mindset on him being able to pursue his dreams and just trust the process and don't question it. She feels like, no, I should be able to question it because we have kids and responsibilities. So they're arguing back and forth, and their friends are trying to be the mediator in the situation. And it almost seems like they're about to blow up again about the situation and being upset about how he handled things until the damn tears come. Yeah. So I guess if I can't be a macho man and get my way that way, I'm going to cry and cry until I can get my way. Man, child, Anthony, how do you go from thug life? You literally was like, little girl, this, your little bird, that. I'm a man, who you playing with. And then you go from that to crying. I need y'all to have my back. Why y'all ain't got my back? Fool, please. What the hell is going on with these men? Like, why do you have to either act like you are super, super thuggish and you don't care, or you're super, super sensitive? Like, which one is it? At this point, my favorite couple on here, and the couple that I feel like really has some type of balance, is Colby and Russell. Colby and Russell seem to fit each other well. And even though I have the issues about the whole gender war situation, I feel like Russell does not play when it comes to his family. And that's one thing that Colby's parents also said. Russell don't play when it comes to them. And we're going to see later on in this season, he does not play when it comes to his wife, which I definitely appreciate, because one of these men have to step up and truly protect the woman, their queen. But yeah, so that was the end of the episode, child. These fake tears, which I didn't see any tears coming down his face. I didn't see him at all. I just saw him squinting his eyes like he was trying to put on some type of performance. It failed. It failed. So what do you guys think about this episode? What did you think about Anthony Manchild's fake tears and Brandon acting like he don't want to be married, of course, and no one cares about him? Like, all of them is constantly complaining, and the women shouldn't complain. This Love and Marriage is just, this show is a mess. But again, what did you guys think about it? Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.